Project Runway. My name is Kelly, and I want to give you a little bit of information about myself really fast. Let's get right to this. I've been sewing and designing and creating since I was 8 years old. My grandmother taught me how to sew and started my love for all of this. I've been doing it all of my life. I'm at a point where my kids are grown and I'd really like to launch this into a bigger business. It's been a pretty small freelance business for me, so that's why I'm applying to Project Runway. I hope that you'll consider my designs, take a look at my skill, and consider me for a contestant on Project Runway. I want to show you a few of my designs, you see what you think, and we'll go from there, okay? Let's go this way. So this is a two-piece denim with a French skirt. I made this several years ago for a fashion show up in Northern California. It's basically just layers and layers of French denim with a little bolero jacket. I inserted some grommets throughout it just for a little interest. And then you can see the really high neckline and then the very cute little corseted back. The model looked fabulous. I love it. It's fun. My designs usually will flow from either funky and edgy inspiration to very classic and sophisticated. So a few more designs. This is basically silk. It is a bodice that I sewed just lines and lines of beautiful leaf trim on. And it is kind of typical of how I like to make the bodices where, I zip it from the neck down to the waist. Obviously easier to get into and it looks very nice. Just the silk skirt going with it, little high slit on the side here. I love working with silk, and as we go through these very quickly, you might determine that I love to work with ivory as well. So this was a piece of upholstery fabric, and I just thought, you know what, I feel 60s. This just feels 60s to me, so I created a little rolled neckline. Again, I want to show you what I do typically with my dresses. I don't like any thread showing. I don't like seams and hemlines to show, so I create the underlayer of the lining to pull up and create the hem, so you never see any sort of stitching. I really just like that nice smoothness. And you can see the beautiful satin lining in the back with a nice V-neck. Inspired by the 1920s, this dress has layers of embroidered tulle with beaded trim at the bottom, and I literally just draped this on the dress form and took it straight to the machine. Another ivory piece here. Beautiful silk. This silk has a lovely two-tone weave. You can see squares woven into this. I ruched from the shoulder down across to the waist, and then I wanted to sort of repeat that angle by, you can see, I think, the hemline angling up here. So those are just a couple of designs. This one I just loved the fabric, and it's a simple shift dress, but that beautiful fabric just tends to make it. Cute little beaded bodice here with bugle beads, and a little fun at the cuff, at the sleeve. If you can see up close, has little, I actually created each little bead strand there. This beautiful dress was inspired by the 1950s. You can see a little scallop neckline, the full skirt, and then that lovely black embroidery along the bottom of the organza. Love it. This was for, I think, a 12-year-old. A couple more pieces. I do love to work with silk. This is a beautiful silk shantung with a second layer of a woven silk ribbon, really, creating this overdress. Let's see. Again, for a fun little fashion show of 10 to 12-year-olds, a little fringing, a little dress that I love, kind of reminding you that it has some texture and some movement. And then lastly, this is a silk organza embroidered jacket. No lining, really just meant to see through it, going over a nice little silk bodice and pants.